When I was younger, I used to skateboard pretty much everywhere I went. I didn't get a license right away just because I drank and I didn't want to get like a DUI or anything like that. Now I quit drinking, but when I was younger, I did think about that. Like, I don't want a license. I love skateboarding. I would skateboard literally everywhere I went, even from town to town. Now, I grew up in a cool town called Port Dover. A lot of people know of it because of something called Friday the 13th. But when I was 17, my parents moved me to a town called Port Rowan because they love to fish. Port Rowan's really great for fishing. It's a big bay. There's Long Point, which is close by, which is a beach. So I could still go to the beach and things like that. But Port Rowan, the actual town I lived in, sucked. And really close to it was a town called St. Williams, which pretty much sucked as well. But there was a lot of people in these two towns that were awesome. Port Rowan is a great town if you like nature, fishing, things like that. So it isn't a bad town. It's a boring town. There's nothing to do unless you do those things. St. William was even worse, except for they ended up getting a skate park. A lot of my friends lived in St. Williams, and they would always have parties. So we would either get a ride to St. Williams because, again, we didn't have licenses. We'd bike to St. Williams sometimes, or I would skateboard there. If I was by myself, I would just skateboard there rather than bike. But if I was going with buddies, because bikes are faster, I would be on a bike, right? But what I used to do was leave there at about 3 o'clock at night. Either I'd spend the night there, like sleep there. I had family there as well. Or I would skateboard home. And when I was, see, this is a car, and this is a car. This is my board. This is just a little example to show you of something that happened to me, right? So what I would do is if the car was coming on this side of the road, I would skateboard on this side of the road until the car passed me, right? When the car passed me, if there was no cars coming this way where I could see, I would always cross over because the car could like sneak up on you this way, right? But if there happened to be a car here and a car here, I would like play chicken somewhat. Really stupid, of course, but I never thought of what was about to happen could happen. So I'm playing chicken in my mind. This car is going to go past first. So I'm over here. This car flies past. I go over here and this car flies past. That's kind of what I would always do. It was like Frogger, but instead of trying to cross the road, I just continuously jump back and forth between lanes, right? So if this car was going to go first, or say this car was going to go first, I'd stay in front of this one and then jump over. Oh, not the road, the board. I'd grab my board. I'd go like this and this car would go, right? So I was always constantly dodging these cars until the one day, which I never thought that this could happen. And maybe some of you are thinking about it right now, like what could clearly happen, but I wasn't, right? So there's a car coming. There's two cars coming like this, okay? And I'm on my board and I'm skating. There's no cars coming this side, so I'm just skating here. Skating along. And then these cars are getting close to me. They get about, I don't know, 4 car lengths maybe. Not even quite 4 car lengths. And clearly this guy here has no idea what's here. This guy might not even see me. That's a thing that I never thought of as a kid. Now that you drive, it's like, well, it's really hard to see someone if they didn't have any reflection. And I would probably, I don't have black on now, but I probably had black on, right? But so I'm here going like this. And right before I get to that spot, the car goes to pass. And he's about there. And now I got 2 cars coming at me like this. And all I did is I dove into the ditch. This car flew past, literally just missed me. I don't even think he's seen me. I'm not sure. It was about 3 a.m, so chances are this guy's leaving a party too, right? But I dove off. This car flew past, and then there's no cars like this. Both cars are gone, and I'm in the middle of nowhere now, and my board was like way over here in the field, and I couldn't find it. I was searching for like half an hour for my board, and then once I got it, I pretty much, from that point on, if a car was coming, and I could see a second car behind it, I would get off the road, right? I would never go to one side or the other. I would just get off the road. There's 2 cars coming, but back then, I never thought about that happening. So I seen a kid skating the other day, and it just made me think of that, like how fast it happened and where you would never think of it. Like I never, ever thought about, okay, I just thought this is perfect. As long as I'm faster than the car behind me, I'm going to skate, right? But then, yeah, right like that, it happened. And it was like maybe 3-4 car lengths, and I just dove to the side. I think I leaned, my board just did like a freaking L, like a 90 almost, and I flew off into the ditch, and then my board again was way over there. So Not something that I advise kids to do at nighttime, or if you're skateboarding, just be aware of the fact that something like that can happen, because that's the one and only time it did happen. And I did this many, many, many times. I did it with bikes and stuff too. Obviously, most people do it with bikes. If you're on the road, cars are coming, you zigzag, not like tight and close, but you do go from one side to the other to avoid the cars, right? But on a skateboard, it's not as easy because this is all gravel. So the second that guy was there, it was like, go over the hood, dive into the massive ditch, and spend half an hour looking for your board, or try and go in the middle of them, which that's obviously not the right way to go, because this guy here, I don't know if he's seen that I was there. This guy probably didn't, because he flew past me. No one stopped to see if I was okay. So I don't think they even seen me, right? But yeah, that's what I used to do. Now I have a license. Now I don't drink, obviously, and I don't skateboard anymore. I miss skateboarding so much, right? But when you see these new kids on their boards, some of the stuff that they can do is absolutely wild. Myself, I was good. Like, I could show some stuff, but when I would skate, I'd play skate with people, and I could win like 10 games in a row without ever using the same trick. They would tell me, don't use, like, let's play again. Don't use the tricks you just used. And I would win about 10 of them before they would even start giving me letters, right? I had so many different tricks. I skate like Rodney Mullen style, nowhere near as good as him, but now the kids that skate, I seen some kids doing tricks that I never made up, but nobody around me did them, and I was like doing them. I never seen them anywhere else, and now I see kids doing them. So clearly it's something that somebody else probably did back then too. But yeah, this is just like a public service announcement for idiot kids that want to skateboard down the road in the dark. Be aware of the fact that this is not always going to be a clear path just because the lights are here. This guy's going to come over one of these days. So at the very least, be here when you pass cars, right? Be on the very outside, because yeah, you don't want to get smoked by a car doing, I don't know how fast I was going. I'm probably only going like 10, but the car that's passing is doing about 100, right? So you're going to land about here if he flips you. So yeah, be careful on the road. I seen this happen the other day, so I know dummies are still doing it. I was one of those dummies. But yeah, it's very unsafe, especially when you don't have reflective things on, so this car can be aware. Because maybe if this car seen me, they could have like moved over or done something, but I don't think either of them even seen me, and I flew off the road. Like, I rolled so fast down into a ditch when it happened, and no one stopped, right? So whether they see me or whether they're just dicks, I don't know. Public service announcement. Don't do that. Don't be dumb. See you next time. Peace.